Hi everybody, welcome back to another video. Today is finally the day. Today is the day that I'm going to do what I promised everybody I would do. And I've never had the bottle to do it, but today is the day I'm going to. So on the last video I promised that I would give you an update of my progress. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you my progress. And when I say show you my progress, I'm going to bare my body, as they say. I'm going to show you what my body looked like at the start of the journey, and I'm going to show you what my body looks like right now, 8.5 months later, and a considerable amount of hard work and dieting and everything else. So that you can see the numbers which I'm going to run through with you in a moment, and then you can see how that actually translates into what my body looks like right now. And I have to say, overall, I'm really pleased. It's 8.5 months. It's been a long journey. It's been slightly longer than I wanted it to be. But I started the journey looking at losing 4 stone. I was 18.5 stone, wanted to get to about 14.5 stone. And you know what? Largely it's been successful. It's been ups and downs. It's been a bit of a roller coaster ride. But in the main, it's all good news. And I'm going to kind of split it into 2 sections. I'm just going to run through the facts and the figures and the numbers, and then I'll show you the picture at the end as to how that has all translated into my body. So I'm going to put up on the screen, as you can see up there now, I'm going to put up there the Renfo app, which is the app that I use to take all my body measurements. Each day, every morning when I weigh, it calculates a number of other things other than just simple body weight, and that's kind of what I've used to track my progress. And as you can see right now, up on the screen, you can see my weight is 14 stone and 8 pounds. So as you can see right from where I go, you know, starting at 18.5 and getting to 14.5, it's a successful journey. So I'm really pleased with that. And underneath that weight, you can see there are a number of other kind of metrics, other kind of measurements. So the first measurement obviously is body weight. So we look at body weight and we say, okay, so my body weight is 14 stone 8 pounds. But how does that translate into any sort of scale? What does that mean in terms of where I should be, where I shouldn't be? So on the screen now you can see the scale. So I started the journey way back on January the 1st, and my little dot was way into the red zone, in the obesity zone there. So you can see the progress that I've tracked. I need to get to 14 stone 3 to actually be in the normal zone. That's my new target now. So I've achieved my 14.5 stone, which is great. Big thumbs up for that. Now I want to just push it into that green zone and then plateau at that level, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we stay at that zone. And we stay in the correct weight zone for my age and my height and my physical build, which is brilliant. And you know, I'm absolutely delighted with that, really. The next metric that we look at is the BMI metric. So the BMI metric is that takes into consideration the body fat that's in your body, that takes in the fluid, the bone mass, the age, the weight, the size, and everything else, and puts it into a scientific scale. How that scale actually works, I'm way above my head, but you can see the scale. The target I'm trying to achieve to be in the normal zone is 25. I'm just fractionally above 25 at 25.6, but again, I've come from that red zone all the way down the red zone, all the way through the amber zone, and almost into the green zone. So those are the two areas of the measurements that I do. They just need a little bit more work, but overall, the overall result is really, really pleasing. So you know, the next one that we look at is body fat, and body fat is a simple thing. It is literally just taking how much of a percentage of your overall body mass is fat. And you can see that 16.2% of my weight is made up of body fat. Again, well into the acceptable zone, well into what is okay for my height and for my age. Currently sat at 16.2. You can see that the serious athletic zone is between 6 and 13. Do you know what? I'd love to get there. I would absolutely, you know, it'd be brilliant to get there. But being that I'm in the green zone already, there is no real desire to push the limits anymore. I am where I need to be, and you know what you will see in the picture a little bit later on is you'll probably look at it and go, you know what, there's still an awful lot of fat there, but you know, reality is there is, and there's still work to do. But for the purpose of this video, you know, it's about the progress, and it's about where I started, where I am now, and the journey that I've been on. You know, couldn't be more happy with that one, really. The next two that I look at are the body fats, and there are two very distinct types of body fat. Now, in terms of body fat, I would suggest that there is no good body fat, but there are two very distinct types, and there is one called subcutaneous fat. Now that is the fat that sits just below the skin. It's the jiggly fat. It's the stuff that wobbles around when you run and everything else. And you'll see from the picture that I've still got quite a bit of that fat on my body. And the second type of fat is the visceral fat, and that's the dangerous fat. That's the fat that sits in your stomach cavity and surrounds your vital organs, and if you're not careful, will stop them from working. So, you know, that's both of those fat zones I've made big progress on. So you can see that my subcutaneous fat is in the green zone. It's just above halfway up the green zone. So more than happy with that. You know, it's okay. I've still got work to do. I've still got fat in my body that I need to shift. But there's no real urgency around that. That's just a longer process of once I've plateaued where I want to be, I can just continue to work on that. The visceral fat, however, is one thing that I kind of researched a bit and kind of tailored my programs to the workouts that I was doing to try and reduce that fat more than the subcutaneous fat, because obviously that's the dangerous fat. And you can see I've gone from the red zone there all the way down through the amber into the acceptable zone, which is great news. You know, both those subcutaneous fats and visceral fats, they're both in the acceptable zones. I couldn't be happier, really, you know, and from my objectives when I started the journey, it was never about how am I going to look. It was always about how can I be more healthy? How can I make sure that I'm in the right zones in terms of body weight, in terms of body fat, in terms of BMI, all of those things that will make me feel better about myself. It was never really about how I look. You know, albeit you'll see quite a big change in my body. I have to say, you know what, that was the secondary goal. The first goal was to be healthier and to be happier, and I predominantly achieved that, really. You know, the last metric that I look at is metabolic age. Metabolic age is basically just taking your age and saying, okay, these are your measurements, these are your vital statistics, this is the body fat, this is the BMI, this is the, you know, everything else that we've just been through, and it calculates what age your physical state is. Now I started this at 56, 57, so my physical age was a lot higher than my actual age. Now with the statistics that I've got, my actual age is the right age for my physical body, which is really, really good. The next stage is for me to push into the 40s and get into the mid 40s, which would be absolutely fantastic if I can do that. But again, with the journey that I'm on, I'm now at a point where I'm in no real rush to move to that next stage, because I know I've done a good job in these 18.5 months. So yeah, really, really pleased with that. Just one other thing that I'm going to show you before I move on to the image of my body and my body shape and everything else. I'm going to show you a graph now of my physical fitness, if you like. So this is a graph taken from Strava, which is the app that I use to track all of my cycling activity. And you can see from the graph that if I move the pointer down now, the pointer will show that in January the 1st, 24, 25 was my fitness level. Now that kind of isn't on a scale of anything. That is just giving you a number. That's a calculation of the effort that you were able to put out for how long you're able to put that effort out. And that gives you a fitness score. My fitness score was 24, 25. And you can see as the year has gone on, I've gradually got fitter, which is really, really good. The graph has gone up, which is really, really positive. And it's gone up to the top there. I had a little bit of a dip when I just stepped off the bike for a bit just to recalibrate, and then I've pushed on again over the last couple of weeks, and you can see now that my fitness level is 159. So I've gone from 24 on January the 1st to 159 now. And to put that into some perspective, when I was at my fittest prior to going on this journey was when I rode Ride London in August of 2018. I rode 100 miles in 4.5 hours, so I was really particularly pleased that I was able to do that. It's a pretty decent time, pretty decent effort. But when I rode that day, my fitness score was 125. So you can see I'm considerably fitter than what I was at my previous fittest. So that when you look at my numbers, all good. When you look at my physical appearance, it's positive, and when you look at my physical fitness, it's really good. So do you know what, as a summary of my journey, the first 8.5 months of the rest of my life, it's been a really positive experience. I'm not going to lie and say that it's been easy. I'm not going to lie and say that I've not had really dark times. I think, you know, any of you who've watched any of my previous videos will know that there has been some really dark times, but you know what, through all of that, the results that I'm showing you now make it all worthwhile, and you know, I wouldn't change a thing really. So here we go. Look, this is the bit. This is the thing for me, okay? So this has always been a big issue for me. I've never really liked showing anybody what's underneath the shirt. So, you know, the image that I'm about to put up on the screen in a second is a big step for me, because only realistically me, my wife and my children ever see what you're about to see. So as I put the picture up, on one side now you can see where I was on January the 1st this year. That's just over 18.5 stone on January the 1st. You can see that, you know, everything just looks incredibly overweight. On the other side of the picture, you can see the picture that I took yesterday, and that picture is at 14 stone and 8 pounds, which is, you know, considerably different. I think, you know, the width of my shoulders, you can see a big difference. You can definitely see a difference in the size of my stomach. There's an awful lot of jiggly wobbly fat in there. I will say there's also an awful lot of excess skin, and the one thing I'll say to anybody that's thinking about going on the journey, the skin has an element of elasticity to it, and once it's stretched beyond that, like a slinky dog or a spring or anything like that, once it goes beyond its elasticity, it will never go back to where it was. My body was stretched way beyond its elasticity, so I'm always going to suffer with this excess skin where it's just stretched and stretched and stretched, and it's not shrunk back into place. So I'm never going to have this dead straight sides to my body. I'm never going to have a flat stomach. I think you can see the work that I've put into my stomach and my upper body and my abdominals. I'm starting to work on that. I think you can see the successes there. I'm never going to have the body of an Adonis. I accept that completely, and that's not the intention. But what you can see from the image is that all of the work that I've put in and all of the numbers that you've seen prior to me putting the picture up all paint a really positive picture, and the physical results are well worth it. You know what, I'm 2 sizes smaller in t-shirts, I'm 2 sizes smaller in jumpers, I'm significantly smaller around my waist. So you know what, everything has been really positive. And I just wanted to share that with everybody, really. You know, as I said, it's a big step for me. I'm really pleased I've done it. I'll have less hang-ups about exposing myself to anybody. You know, if it's a hot day and I want to take my t-shirt off, then I absolutely will, and it is what it is, you know. But certainly on January the 1st at 18.5 stone, I would never even dreamt of that. So it's been a really good journey. I hope you've enjoyed looking at the results of the efforts that I've put in. I know that I've posted an awful lot of cycling content over the last couple of months. You know, this is the other side of it. If you've got any questions for what I've done, how I've achieved anything, please feel free to ask them in the comments. If you've got any comments that you want to make, pop a comment in there. Absolutely, you know, read them all. Means the world to me. As I said, if you want to know anything about how I've achieved what I've achieved, then feel free to ask. If you've liked the video today, pop a thumbs up. It's always really appreciated. And if you want to see more of my content moving forward, then click the subscribe and the little bell, and it'll tell you when I post a new video up. But listen, I'm going to leave it there for today, everybody. Yeah, and hopefully we'll see you soon with some more results. See you soon.